Examine your relationship in ways you never have before. Rigidity breaks things. It always has. Vulnerability and flexibility allows things to grow.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Put a Ring on It, Season 2, Episode 1. We're dealing here with Darian and Alexia, but I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of a shorter one where I'm just kind of breaking down some of the body language you're going to see in the next few moments. I've entitled this video, The Fight That We Don't See. And with Darian and Alexia, I don't know, it looked like they had a fight before they came in. Okay, and by the end they patched things up. I know we've been made aware that they're filming there for a few hours, so it's not just a few minutes, but it's a few hours at there. So there's obviously things that are being done, said, and happening through the process. But when you watch some of the clips that I'm about to bring, you're going to see that there was probably tension way before they got to the point here at the beginning of the interaction with Dr. Nicole. So listen, if you want to see more great content like this, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification. Uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. Okay, listen, stay hydrated because the streets are hot out there, baby. All right, cool. Listen, let me get some water and stay hydrated. Okay, all right. Well, it's real out here. All right, cool. So you just watched a clip there, and I want to go back to it because it was quite an interesting clip in terms of how you see the couple. Watch this. Pause it here. Look at the body language of these two. He's got his head tilted all the way up. You know, she's looking ominous towards Dr. Nicole. They're seemingly not in the best of places at that particular moment. You know, when you lift your head like this, you know, oftentimes that can be a sign of arrogance, but it's not in this particular instance. If you look at his face, it's not an arrogant pose. It's more of a case, you know, when you just, you're pissed. That is what it is. Yeah, you're angry. You're annoyed about something, you're frustrated about something. That's oftentimes where that head tilt comes from. Okay, and so from the beginning of the when they sat down, this was the position he actually took up, and this is her position. And one of the things again I noticed about them these two as well, again, was there's a little bit of a space, but not too much. And this is going to change by the end. She's going to grab his arm by the end, okay, because she wanted to feel close to him once more again. But watch, just look at this. Her leg also is facing towards him, which is also a good sign. She's not anti him. She's not anti him at all, right? She's still got her leg poised towards him. She's not leaning away from him necessarily. He's a bit man-spready, which you're going to see in a few seconds. But other than that, it's her facial expression that's telling you where she's at this moment. She's not happy at all, okay? But what's interesting is her leg position that happens later on here, which I'm going to play. Just pay attention to this.
Never have before. Rigidity breaks things. It always has. Vulnerability.
Okay, cool. So you're going to see her leg position is different to everybody else's, right? Now, normally, when you do your leg like that, I normally say, oh, it's a defensive position, right? But that's because that normally comes with you leaning away and your left leg coming over to block him from having access to you. Like, it's a physical thing, right? Reaction. But in this particular scene, when you see it being done, her left leg's actually leaning almost onto him. All right, and she's not necessarily leaning away from him. He's a bit man-spready, but her left leg is coming over now. She might just be left-footed. Let's keep it 100. She might just be left-footed, right? And it's more comfortable to use her left leg, okay? That's also another explanation. I'm looking at taking it in the motions and trying to take it all in. You know, that left leg coming over again, but touching his leg, basically, okay? So they're not touching on the shoulders, but they're touching on the legs. And what's really interesting about that is if you notice with Rhonda and Sean, how his hand is even over on her leg, they're maintaining that physical contact. They're trying to have that contact. He's not. Darian is not trying to have that contact, and that may be just because he's not so driven in that area to be physically contact. Some of us are not everybody likes to be contacted like that. Not everyone likes to show their emotions through physical contact in that sense, so that can also be an option as well. I'd also like to add that, you know, again, I think similarly enough, you'll watch with Darian and both Darian and Eric, both are in similar positions where they're man spreading their legs, okay, and they're keeping themselves to themselves. But with Sean, being that obviously he's a bit more emotional, he's lead his hand over. Normally the woman does that, right? Again, I'm just showing you so you can see that Darian is holding his frame, he's holding his position, he's sticking to his side of the chair. It's very, very important because that speaks a lot, I think, about their relationship and how they handle themselves. They don't intertwine necessarily, right? They don't necessarily intertwine, but you're going to see this change a little bit later on the show, okay? Let's watch a little bit. Let me put a little bit more of the clip as well for you guys a little bit later on where they have a little bit of a change. Okay, look at her facial expression here. So now we're seeing a slight tilt. This is the part where Dr. Nicole was talking, okay? And Alexia is not in the mood, bro. Not in the mood, cuz I'm not trying to have that conversation, bro. She's not in the mood at all. Let's watch a little bit more of the clip and see.
All right, gentlemen. I believe the three of you had your first dates this week. I'd love to hear all about them, so let's dive in.
Alexia's still not impressed. Darian's broken hold. He started laughing and smiling. He broke hold, but she was not impressed still. Her face was showing us that she didn't want to hear this. Okay, not that she don't want to hear Dr. Nicole per se, but she's not in that space to receive this all the way because she's pissed. So maybe something happened before this. Maybe there was an argument. Maybe there was some type of conversation before this that got her to the space that she felt right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? But it's clear that at that point, she weren't okay. Okay, right? And you're going to see her reaction now here.
Darian, how was your date?
I had a good time.
Good.
I kept her in mind.
Oh, look at that. You know, he's talking about, I had a good time. Look where she's gone to. Her head has gone the complete opposite direction. As soon as he started speaking about the date, her head went this way. Oh, she's heard it all before. She's heard it all the other night when she came home, and she's not happy about the way that you addressed it and the way you spoke about it, okay? So her head goes the opposite way, and she leans away from him at this point. You know, notice that beforehand, she hadn't leaned away. She kept herself to herself. He kept himself to himself. Her legs slightly leaning over still showed that she still cared, still wanted that connection, but didn't want to do too much. Now, she's leaning, her head's totally away, and she's looking into space.
I kept the commitment in mind.
Now look at Dr. Nicole. Oh, Dr. Nicole also, listen, she asked for his response, yeah? But the response by Darian was so strong in the words he used per se, right? That even Dr. Nicole was like, She was also trying to keep it in too. Like, not that she was going to say anything, but she's also receiving the information just at the same time, right? And when you're receiving information at the same time, you're trying to process it, especially if you're somebody who deals with relationships, coaching, empathy, you know, you can tap into emotions, you know, you are working hard always to keep the poker face, right? But there's always something. So watch her eyes. Watch her eyes now, Dr. Nicole's.
And so this girl made me like her. And like I had fun with this girl because she reminded me of that fun flirting.
Lex is not in the mood. She's not in the mood, bro. My girl she's not in the mood for this conversation. Like, honestly, and I think it's the way that it's been addressed originally. And I said this about Darian, and we'll explain this in another video. The way he addressed the original issue about how he felt about Kaya, I think it was Kai, sorry, about Kai. And he brought it to his wife, to his girlfriend at the time. It was unacceptable. Like, that's not how you communicate what you're saying. No, I get the point you're making, but the communication, the how it landed was absolutely horrific. I've always said this. I can deliver a package to you. I can throw it at you, and I can hand it to your hand. I've delivered it either way, but the way it's come about in two different ways it's gonna make you receive it in a certain way. And it's going to make you think about, do I respect you? Do I care for you? Do I appreciate you? So someone might say, oh, the truth's the truth. No, that's what the Bible lets us know, the truth in love. You see, because when you deliver it outside of love, it's no longer just the truth. It's now become a weapon that is wielded against the individual person. All right? You say you love them, you care for them, deliver it in the right way. Let's watch a little bit more.
We did. It reminded me of what I liked. I mean, what I did.
Dr. Nicole's face. Listen, Dr. Nicole's face is giving me the jokes. It's the eyes for me. She's like, it's strong. What he's saying is strong, right? And maybe she wasn't doing that, but this is what I was seeing, right? The way he was talking about the situation was strong, and even Dr. Nicole's reactions are telling you.
Desire. And it also reminded me, like, I don't have that. I had it in the beginning, some of it, and it.
Now look at her eyes shifting. As soon as it said, obviously, you know, I had that in the beginning, you watch Dr. Nicole's face go. And I notice I do this a lot on lives. You guys will see my facial expressions when something's going on. I'm like, and I'm trying to listen harder, but my face is also telling you, am I hearing what I'm hearing correctly? I'm like, what? I'm hearing it, but what I'm receiving don't sound right. What I'm receiving sounds a little bit off. What I'm saying is, what the person's saying is maybe a little bit hard. What the person's saying, I'm hearing you and I'm taking the information and I'm trying to process it. All of those different thoughts all at once. You know what I mean? All right. So when you see her face, look, the eyebrows come down, eyes now cutting at him. It's no longer the bright eyes. Look at it.
Faded away.
She's focused.
Some women.
And as soon, you don't know if you missed it, I'll go back. As soon as Alexia got involved, she took a pause break, and the pause break leaked in the mouth. It was like, then she took the reset. The lips. Watch it again. I'll go back. Watch it again. It's so, but when I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't have that. I had it in the beginning, some of it, and it faded away.
Focused.
Telling me some.
Boom. As soon as she starts speaking, she resets her lip. Now, she might have felt her lips are dry. I hear that. But it's the timing. We do these little things at these moments where something's being said because we're reacting to it, but maybe don't want to show people reacting to it, right? It's almost impossible for anybody to react so calmly or react like they've got no emotions, because we're human beings at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? So as soon, and you can see me, I'm reacting to what I'm seeing. I'm excitable. You can see it in my tone, my voice, but even my eyes and the way that I'm delivering, you can see I'm reacting, right? And as soon as Alexia jumped in to talk, she resets by pressing her lips together because she has to listen again.
Woman showed you something in one day that I haven't showed you in 14 years. Like, don't.
You see, even Eric is now responding to Alexia's comment about the 14 years. He's like, oh my God, this is getting deep, bro. It's getting deep, yo. He folds his leg over when Alexia decides to talk up. Right? Because now there's a confrontation, not necessarily a bad one, but now there's a difference in the way that we see things, which is very important now, right? Because we're going to have a talk.
Don't compare me to another woman, with any woman.
I get it. After 14 years, it ain't peaches and cream.
And you can see here, she's not just annoyed, she's hurt. And I prefaced it by saying, obviously she's annoyed. The truth of underneath that annoyance comes the real emotion, which is, I'm hurt. I'm hurt by what you did. I'm hurt by the fact that after 14 years, you're going to now come out here brand new and compare me to another woman. And we'll do that in another video. Yeah? Why would you do that? Why would you come out here and compare me to another woman? Come on. I've known you. You've known me. You've never done that before. Why are you doing it now? Right? That's hurt.
But I think that's mainly on Darian. He needs to go take a...
Now you notice his body language hasn't changed. His head is still tilted upwards. Right? He's still like this. He's still frustrated. They obviously had a very deep conversation before that. He's still frustrated. She's not understanding his point. Maybe she's seeing things differently. And that's how he's taking it on. She now has put her hands on her knees. I think this is both a calming herself down of the nervousness, because once you've spoken up now, we can see there's a little bit of anxiety that will enter the situation between yourself and another partner, because you're going to have different views, right? But it's almost like to steady yourself. You put your arm on your leg to steady yourself, stop the nerves. I think also it's another thing of defensiveness as well. You know, it's a bit of leaking of emotional defensiveness. You want to defend yourself. I think it also is. I think it also is as well a little bit about that it's almost like, you revert to that little girl, innit? You know, that's where the hurt is, like almost that. I don't want to say that she hasn't regressed a little girl. What I'm saying about the fact is, it's almost like the little girl that's holding her leg at that moment, innit? It's that state of innocence that we have in those moments, right? This woman's hurt. She's not angry. She's hurt. Big time. big time. What you're seeing there is not it's not just someone might go straight to, oh, you're angry. No, we need to see it for what it is. I'm hurt by what you did. And actually, I talk about this a lot of times when I'm coaching couples and stuff like that, right? I talk about, go to the crux of what you're feeling. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed. Yes, nice. Let's go deeper. Say those words. And I know you don't want to say it because we're not told to say these words, or we don't like saying these words because it leaves us vulnerable, makes us feel weak. But I'm hurt. Right? That's what it was. I'm hurt.
Look in the mirror. If you don't show that you want romance, you're not going to get it out of me.
One of the things that you will have to decide.
So now you see that obviously that she leans back at the end and sits back in her chair after she said what she said, and she's heard Dr. Nicole, and now she sits back in her chair. She's reset herself. Now, the scene here, the scene here is where obviously whatever was said before that got reset. Okay, what I mean by that is that whatever was said changed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, got it.
Pause. Look where she is now. Look at how she's leaned in. Her arm is actually underneath it. So you're going to see this in a few seconds. But you see there's a difference. She's leaned in. Her arm is in. Because now, obviously, the spotlight's off them now. So they can reset themselves a little bit now as well. I'm guessing they probably had a conversation in between that time as well. Because the body language has reset itself. She's not so angry. She's not so hurt or angry about the situation at this current moment, right? So she leans in for that support. She leans in for that emotional connection, wanting to feel safe, wanting to feel connected to a partner again, okay? All right, listen to this.
If I was a single man, I could have took it a step further than what it was.
Okay.
No, we could have went on throughout the entire night.
So, and we'll deal with old boy Eric in a second too. So you see this, I'll go back so you can actually see it as well. The clear change that happened at that point, right? That they literally changed position. Okay, so you emotionally leak when you're conversating. Okay,
Single man.
that's beautiful. Here it is. So now you can see she's actually leaning in. She generally is literally leaning in, and her hand is under his hand. Now he's actually not necessarily taking her hand. He's not necessarily taking her hand, but she's leaning in because she wants that emotional connection again. She wants that physical connection again. Do you know what I'm saying? She wants to have that feeling, and wants to be able to connect once more again with the partner. You know what I'm saying? So, my friend.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, so they connect on that level, and she really wants to be able to get back to that safe place emotionally with him. So that's why she's leaning in. But he hasn't changed his position. He hasn't changed his position at all.
I could have took it a step further.
He hasn't changed his position at all. Not in the slightest. Okay, I don't know if I can get another clip where they're talking after. So yeah. I mean, he's still got his head up a little bit in those scenes, but we now see she really wants to be able to connect with him, and that's so important. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys liked what we did. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button as well. If you guys also wanna be coached by myself, if you're single, dating, or in a relationship, hit us up on littleblackbook91@gmail.com, and let's get the ball rolling with you, okay? And let's help build back those connections with your partner. Or maybe you need to leave. Maybe you need a second voice. Who knows? Whatever you need, just shout us out, and let's see if we can help you be in a better space. Like, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate it. Stay hydrated.